Hello and welcome to another ApplicantExtra tutorial. Today we're going to have a quick look at the best ways of matching vacancies to candidates. So let's first of all go into a vacancy. So this is here's one I made earlier. This is a PA to a technical author. We've got the usual descriptions, the contact, the client that owns the job, and various other information that you can fill in. But what we're interested in for the first part of this tutorial is to define the requirements for this vacancy. So let's skill up, as it were, this vacancy. So we're going to, first of all, we've got inside of here some skills that we've already attributed to it. We can click on here to see where we got those from. So we can just double click if we want to add one, or if we want to get rid of something we can double click as well just by doing this. So it's quite simple to do. So inside of here we've got some mandatory skills in the all of these skills box, and we've got one of these will do skills in the any of these box. So these would usually have equal billing inside of here. In this case, if the person's got customer service skills or receptionist skills, one of those two would be suitable. So also inside of here we've got audio typing. They must have audio typing and they must have Microsoft Word. So if we also go to roles, we've got the roles are defined as in this case a personal assistant role. We've got qualifications. They must have an English language qualification, or must at least have that in their qualifications section. Locations, this is where we define the kind of location. You can do this via a radius search or via just a pick list of areas that we have in the system. Again, in all of these lists that you see here are entirely administrable by yourself. You can add them and remove them quite easily down here in the admin section via the skills list, via the location list, via the role list, and the qualification list. All of them very easy to pick and to edit by modifying them and so on. Now, so once we've defined a set of requirements, you can use some or all of these boxes. Nothing is set. You go to the search section. Inside of the search section we have a representation of each of those boxes in here. So we can see from this we've got all of these boxes represented. If I click search now, it will go off and do a search, each box doing its own search for candidates. The numbers represented in each box are the number of candidates that match that section. So for instance, we found 6 candidates that have audio typing and Microsoft Word as their skills, and they have them at this level or above, so greater than or equal to basic, so this level of attainment in that skill. If we want to, we can set that. If we want to set the bar higher, then we can do that quite easily by changing it to intermediate or advanced. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we can just use this. Now, we've also got 23 candidates that have got both either customer services or receptionist or both. So that's 23 candidates there, and because we are ANDing these two boxes together via that drop down here, we can change that to or if we want, but if in this case ANDing them will mean that we're looking for someone who is in both of these sections, and in this case there are 6 in the row total. So that shows us that we have 6 candidates in common to both of these boxes who have audio typing, Microsoft Word, and have either customer services or a receptionist skills to the levels that we've defined here. Now, on the next row we have 2 people that have a qualification of English language. We have 18 people that have that are in either this 5 miles of this postcode, or that have Birmingham as attributed to them in their location list. And that trickles down to 1 person in common to those boxes. If I want to, I can untick this box here and look for the role as well, but in this case there's nobody with that role assigned, so you can just untick that if that's not relevant to you. In this case it isn't. But so now then at the final total I have 1 left over. That means I have got 1 candidate in common to all of these boxes here. Now there are other things I can tweak. I can put in a salary range. I could attribute other lists that you may have on your system we can use to categorize particular candidates and vacancies. And I could look for archived candidates as well as active ones. So there is quite a few other attributes we can bring to bear on this list. Now, if you're finding that the numbers you're returning are quite low, this is because there must be a bottleneck somewhere, a particular skill or attribute that hasn't been attributed to those candidates. So in this case, we've got a very low number next to our qualification, English language. Now perhaps the English language qualification hasn't been properly assigned to all of your candidates. You may want to try and find that in another way, so you could, for now, without affecting the requirements of the vacancy, untick that box and start a search again to see if that affects your numbers. And in this case it has quite a bit. This means that the 18 that we got from the locations has gone straight through, and that we are now bringing to bear the 6. So now we've got 6 people who have got audio typing and Word, who've got either customer services or receptionist, and that live in the location that you want. Now I can go and look at those six people by clicking the results. Tab. In the results tab, we can see here we've got those 6 people. I can then click on a particular record by clicking on their name, and that will show us that record in more detail. I can look at their CV, I can browse around their record, look at their history, look at their attributes and find out where it found those. In this case we can find here that it had Word, and it had receptionist, and it had audio typing. That person had audio typing against them, so that's why they came up. Now I can then decide from there to shortlist them. So that's quite easy. Just click shortlist, and that will then attach them to this vacancy as a potential candidate for you to progress further. I can then scroll to the next person and the next person and so on, and decide what to do from here, and look at various parts of their record or their CV. So we can shortlist David Johnson as well, perhaps. Click close, go to the shortlist, and we can see those people in more detail. I've already got someone called Anna Blaney next to this record, but in this case these 2 people were shortlisted. Inside of here I can see the various milestones that a particular candidate can get to against this vacancy, and progress them through these milestones to either becoming placed, declined, or having rejected the job from this stage. So all of the tools that you need to progress them through the job are here for you to use. Now in more detail, if we go back to the search and find some more candidates that we might find interesting, maybe you don't use skilling up in your candidate records. Maybe they're just put there with their CVs attached, in which case we might want to do a CV search. So let's click to the other tab, and in the CV search, all of these, we've got several options that we can use. All of these words, this exact phrase, and at least one of these. We may be changing this field to be one large logical Google style field at one point, but at the moment this is how we have it set up. Now from here we could then look through particular CVs without the need to worry whether or not they've been skilled up. So we could look for particular words in their CV. So let's just do that now. Let's look for something obvious that's going to come back with some results, just to give you an idea of how things work. So I put manager, and I've clicked search, and I've got 14 records returned, and I can then go to my results tab and see those 14 people, and so on. So then you can click on a particular CV. So you can then click on this icon, and that will open up their CV, and then you can scroll through and find where it's highlighted the words that you were searching for, and then decide again whether or not you want to shortlist and so on. We've also got other ways of finding things. For instance, if it's not in the criteria search or the CV search, you can just do a kind of basic ad hoc search using all of the search tools that we have under candidate list. So again, pretty much any attribute against a candidate can be used to find a candidate using the candidate list option as well. So again, lots of ways of finding things, lots of different ways of searching for stuff, and you can pull in fields, pretty much any field a candidate has. from a country that they live in, to something in their consultant notes, from a phrase in their CV, and so on and so on. All of these fields can be pulled in and searched on and used to add them to the result list and get them on the short list, and then to progress them further. I hope that helps you with your searching and matching, and please stay tuned for other tutorials for Applicant Extra. Thank you very much. Bye.